Hey guys, in this video, not only do I have my winter coat on because it is quite cold here in Utah, but I'm going to talk about if you are going to purchase the property and actually fix and flip this property yourself, some of the things you really got to be careful for now that the winter months are coming up. And if you live in a state that gets to those freezing levels, you're going to want to watch this because I'm going to share with you step by step what you need to have in place to make sure this doesn't turn into a disaster. Now, while you're here, I also want you to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so it alerts you when we upload fresh new content. But let's get right to business.
Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire.
I can't believe this business is so incredible, and if I can do this, every single one of you can do this. Every single one of you.
Something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire.
Hey guys, Cody Hofhine with Wholesaling Inc., the #1 wholesaling coaching program in the nation. I've got my hands in my pocket because it is freezing. It doesn't look like it, probably doesn't have snow on the ground, but the winter months, they're coming. They're right upon us right here in Utah. Today we woke up to 12 degrees. 12 degrees. So if you guys live in a state where you're getting below freezing temperatures, I want to break this down step by step that if you're going to be buying homes during this time, what is it you should make sure that you have in place right out of the gates so that this investment doesn't turn into a bad investment or turn into a disaster. So some of the things you might already hear in the background, you've got sanders going, you've got compressors, you've got chop saws, you've got everything going on right now because we are doing a fix and flip on this property. So you may hear a ton of noise in this video. But what I want you to do is make sure these things are in place. So first and foremost, if you are going to buy homes during the cold months, the winter months, here's your checklist. First, you want to make sure that all windows, all doors, everything is locked up, because when a home sits vacant, there's a lot of individuals that are looking for a warm place to stay, and they start to find all the vacant homes and they find the easiest way to break into them so that they can stay warm during the winter months. So make sure everything is locked up in a good way. That's your first thing. Secondly, what you want to do is make sure, because it's the winter months, you want to make sure that you keep the house above that freezing temperature. I like to keep ours in like the 50s and 60s. Keep that heat going, because there's one thing you don't want to happen, and that is frozen pipes. Frozen pipes will lead to an absolute disaster where you're flooding your whole entire home. Don't fall into that mistake. Don't do it. Don't fall into that trap. So what I want you to do is I want you to make sure you keep the heat on. That'll lead us to our next one, the third. Making sure all utilities are in your name at closing. Make sure you get over to that city, county, municipality as quick as you can so that you can get all utilities in your name and have that gas stay on so you can keep the heat on, the electricity so you can have your contractors work. These are some of the things why I'm sharing. It may sound like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The first home we bought, we did not do those things. We didn't put the electricity in our name. We didn't put the gas in our name. And pretty soon we'd come out and the gas was shut off and it had a lock on it. And then the electricity was turned off or the water was turned off. So make sure if you're gonna buy homes, you get all utilities in your name, transferred over, and keep them active so that your contractors can do their work, but more importantly, to keep that home warm during these winter months. The next one, you ready, is going to be insurance policy. Not many people think about this. This is something that can be a disaster really, really quick. Now, with my background being insurance, this is something I'm very adamant about because I've seen so many losses and so many bad things happen when people don't put the right policy in place. So a lot of times when we're buying a home and we fix and flip it, a lot of insurance companies are selling you like a rental policy as if renters are here. The issue with that, yes, it may be a cheaper policy and it may cost less. The issue with that, though, is you are not having a renter in this home. It's vacant. And so if there happens to be a disaster, a fire, or some kind of disaster happens to the home where you have to make a claim on the insurance policy, they're going to come in and see that it's vacant, and they may deny that claim because you have a renter's policy in place. Don't buy a rental policy. It's not a rental, it's a fix and flip, it's vacant. So make sure you're working with a company that understands that these are vacant and you need a vacant home policy. Now, one thing to remember with a vacant home policy, it's kind of a bare bones policy. It's not something that is covering everything. They may cover fire, they may cover theft, but one of the big things they won't cover is broken pipes. So that's the big reason why you gotta have that gas on, keep the house warm so you don't have frozen pipes, because most vacant home policies are not gonna cover those broken pipes. So these are some little things, tips, tricks that I've learned over the years. If I'm gonna do a fix and flip, especially during these winter months, to make sure that heat's on, make sure utilities are in your name, make sure you have the right insurance policy, and make sure you are locking up all windows, doors, maybe even switch out the locks to make sure people aren't getting in at night and stealing stuff or stealing your copper or just staying in here because they wanna stay warm for the winter. If you can stay to these just quick tips and tricks, this will help your fix and flip go smooth during those winter months so that you don't turn this investment into a bad investment. Now, guys, if you have any further questions that you're getting ready to buy a home, it's these winter months, and you have just questions in general, I want you to comment down below, but there's a couple things I want you to do. If this is your first time watching a YouTube video by us at Wholesaling Inc., I want you to write first time. If it's your second time or your third time or multiple times, I want you to write, I'm back. But then ultimately, if you have questions, chime in down below. I love reading these personally, going through them so I can help each one of you get one step closer to your first deal or next deal, or just understanding just some small tips, tricks, and gold nuggets that will make sure that your processes are going smoother than what they could if you don't put an insurance policy in place, or if you don't keep the heat on, or if you don't put utilities in your name. These are just small little things that make big differences. Thank you so much for watching this video. Appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so it alerts you when we upload fresh new content, and I'll see each one of you on our next video. Take care.